here we are back with the Epiphone EA 14RVT, the Epiphone Ensign from early 66, late 65, depending on which pot you look at. Anyway, last video discussed some stuff with the power tubes and what I was considering or not considering along the lines for grounding and such. So at this point, I've kind of zeroed in on what I'm going to do. So you can see the power section is fully populated now. It came out okay. One thing is these Gibsons, at least this Ensign, this section here has blade type turrets. I don't know if you can see that. And actually, you'll find these in Gibson Crestline era and around those times in their Falcons, the EA19 RVTs, which are great amps. They have the T filters and all that, but they can be modified pretty well. At any rate, you'll find these actually, the entire main board is these blade type of turrets, which actually are great. They're really convenient. You basically lay the component across the turret. They have it so that the lines are straight out the side and solder is applied and tacked in, and it makes a good connection, and it works well, and it's easy to remove parts, replace parts. I did a little extra here. I bent the leads over the ends, which may or may not be a mistake, but I don't plan to read too much of this amp, I hope. At any rate, so another thing was a lot of the components were larger or didn't allow laying down or were deeper. This turret board is not designed really to carry caps. They were done in those firecracker type dual that were laying across this part of the amp. Those were gone before I got the amp. So at any rate, it turned out okay because I was able to raise this resistor is going to get warm, maybe even hot. It allows me to get it away, get some air around it. So that's all done. And also you can see the adjustable bias circuit is in place, and I've tied in the grounds for this section of the board, including the bias, are here. The C node is grounded right here. So I've got a ground here, a ground here. And now it's time to decide finally what to do with the power tubes. As you can see, the blade is fixed. A couple things. So some choices of where the ground for the output transformer is here, and I'm trying to avoid being there, but I'm running out of real estate around here. I'm thinking that this hole here is a good candidate. Bring the grounds from the voltage regulator and the cathodes around. There's actually a wire that's connected to here, this spot. That'll be a couple inches away from the B node and a few 3 inches away from the main power supply and 4 inches away from the output transformer. So I think that's what I'm going to do. And also what I think I'm going to apply here is I'm going to put 1 ohm resistors from pin 8 to the unused pin 6. Those will be my bias testing points, and run those to ground, come back here. And obviously I still have to put in the last 2 nodes, which are going to be the preamp nodes. One's going to be easy to do. I'm just going to splice in. One goes from, where is it? Somewhere around here. Just going to cut the line, tap it in, ground it over here. This ground is available, which is the daisy chain ground that goes through the entire rest of the circuit and is grounded here at the jack, at the jacks. As are all of the pots, are all grounded out through this jack. So it's interesting, on the gear page there's a post someone put up there, and thanks for your comments, and I'm going to reply to it. And it's funny, I had this marked with a question mark. I think this may be the mystery capacitor that doesn't show up in the schematic and really doesn't make much sense in the tremolo circuit. I'm going to, for now, it's going to be easy enough to go around that. But the other things I'm looking forward, since the the preamp has been designed with the tone stacks. The T filters are out. I think it's going to be ready to go. I should be able to finish that today, the rest of it. So once again, got to put in the 2 preamp nodes. I've got to wire the cathodes and the cathode resistors for bias checking on the output tubes. And that's the main thing. And then at some point in the future, I'm going to address the reverb and tremolo plug. This is that special adapter with the special foot switch. What I may do is just take this out, replace it with the stereo jack, and use like a Marshall type, or it doesn't matter what type, foot switch. So that'll be the very last thing once everything is up and running and sounding okay. So there you go.